on the web.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Check one.
Everybody what's up?
Check two.
Give it to me, got some. It's a brand new heavy as a travel and you fly. We on the web.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
One shot, two shot, three for the shot.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Show me what you got, what you got, what you got.